Most people are not lacking provision from God, they're lacking the awareness of it. And that might sound kind of surprising and confusing at first because you're going to feel like, no, I really don't have what I need. I need money to pay my bill tomorrow, or I need this or that. But often the issue isn't that God isn't providing, it's just that we've been trained to only recognize a certain subset of provision, certain kinds of provision from the Lord. So we can get in this like doom and gloom, can't trust God because we don't see, money coming in. But when we don't see these things, we can just assume nothing is happening. That, if it's not bills being paid, then God's just sitting back. But, God's providing in ways that we don't see. His provision is quieter, more consistent, and more personal than we actually realize. It can show up in ways like this, like you get strength to get through your day, especially a hard day. You receive supernatural peace in a stressful moment, especially a financially stressful moment, just to have the Prince of Peace and his energy come over you, to gift you that peace. You can receive help from someone, whether you know them or not, whether it's a family member, stranger. God provides in many different ways. And he also provides in ways that, working something out that could have gone horribly wrong. We make mistakes as human beings, and a lot of times we do have to suffer the consequences of our choices and actions, but sometimes, if you notice, God will step in and prevent a disaster from happening, or, a health risk, a physical injury for some sort of thing, God provides in ways that don't always look dramatic, so we overlook them. If we're not expecting the huge, lightning bolt of kind of change to come through. And this leads us back right into fear and doubt and, not trusting God fully, not knowing him fully, because we can read the Bible and believe his word, but we have to walk it out and kind of know it and understand it. But this is why awareness matters so much, because what you don't recognize, you can't build trust from. God may already be providing in ways that you don't recognize right now, and you haven't noticed, especially when life gets busy. Get tunnel vision, get a little stressed and worried about bills, so you focus all your energy into one basket, basically, of finances, and you kind of miss all the other ways that God sent someone to give you a kind word of encouragement or love, and the peace, the wisdom, a moment of clarity and confusion and the brain fog, So you may have been missing provision just because you're not aware of it. So today I want you to ask yourself, what have you been expecting provision to look like? And is it just financial? I have another video on different ways to expand your awareness on, God's provision. It's not just physical bills, it's emotional. He provides mental provision, time-based, circumstantial provision. Things always working out. We know Romans 8:28. He works all things out for our good, to those called to his purposes as well. So we can trust his promises, his character, his nature. And if you're stressed and a little worried and you've been missing out on provision because you're just hyper-focused on the perception of lack of money, there's other ways that God's providing in your life right now. I want you to take a step back, breathe, and kind of just become aware of other ways that God's providing, so you can give him your stress and anxiety and trust that the financial provision will come as well, and maybe in ways you didn't expect. But once you release that fear and anxiety, you can become more open into receiving the answer, receiving the provision, acknowledging him as your source, and you are just walking with him as the receiver. Here's a short prayer for you. You can always ask God to illuminate your mind where you've been missing provision, and to help build trust in his character to provide all the provision you want, like finances and health, etc. Here's a short prayer for you. God, open my eyes. Help me see beyond what I've already been trained to look for. Show me the ways that you are already providing in my life, even the ones I've overlooked. Amen. God is faithful to answer and show you exactly where he's providing. He wants you to trust him. He wants you to build a relationship with him. And it's in that building of the relationship that you learn to trust him more. But just train your awareness to see the truth of all the provision that's already in your life. So I'll see you in another video. I love you guys.